And we do want to go ahead and go back to Mike and Dr. Bill Chris for some analysis on the race for District 34. I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts.
Yeah, let's talk about District 34 here a little bit, Bill. So much to unpack about this race. It's open because Abel Herrero said, I'm done. And so you've got Solomon Ortiz with the name recognition. You have Denise Villalobos, who just recently, Governor Abbott has kind of attached himself to her campaign. And he's been down here twice, I think, in the last few weeks campaigning for her. What do you see and what do you make out of what's happening with that?
Well, that's a race where negative campaigning might have a real impact. Certainly, the Republican Party nationally and statewide has as a very high priority the notion of increasing their percentage of the vote among minority constituencies. They're more successful. They've been more successful at that with Hispanic voters than with African American voters so far. But it's nonetheless part of what's on their agenda. And President Trump, former President Trump, has helped them in that respect in terms of getting more voters or new voters from those constituencies to vote. And so for that reason, there are a number of seats that have been targeted by the national and state Republican Party, including that State Representative District 34 race between Ortiz and Villalobos. There are others. There are two congressional races, actually three congressional races along the Mexican border,
right.
Where there are also matchups between either incumbent Democratic congressmen or, in one case, a Republican incumbent congressperson who's being challenged by someone who's been in Congress before. And so that's part of the overall national strategy of the Republican Party.
You know, going into this race in particular, there may have been those who thought that, again, because Solomon Ortiz, his name is known, Villalobos not as much, that this was going to kind of be a cakewalk. You mentioned, though, negative ads may be working in this case. Probably one of the most devastating ads I think I saw was in this particular race.
Oh yeah, no, that's the ad where somebody apparently had a phone out and took a video of a comedian having a interchange, an exchange with Mr. Ortiz while he was in the audience. And you know, boy, if there's a lesson politically from this, it's you're always on, you're never off, right? You just always assume that somebody's photographing you, that somebody's got a microphone and a tape recorder.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask. Fair game, you think?
I mean, I think it's fair game. It's certainly protected by the First Amendment. And it was an unfortunate comment. It would qualify as a gaffe by Mr. Ortiz. So it's just like, there's some jokes that just don't go over. But what's going on here in terms of Governor Abbott getting involved, it's very clear that if not the top priority, one of the top priorities of Governor Abbott and his people is to defeat members of the legislature who are opposed to school vouchers and to elect members to the legislature who are in favor of school vouchers. This is the number one issue in Texas politics today. And it pits rural against urban, it pits teachers against parents, it pits churches against one another, depending on the denomination or house of worship. And it's a very contentious issue, and it's being played out right now on the west side of Corpus Christi, in Robstown, Calallen, and the other parts of that District 34.
And as you mentioned, of course, here earlier, we cannot discount the fact that they would really like to take what has been a Democratic position here and turn it Republican.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that, and I've been saying this for I don't know how many electoral cycles, at least since the year 2016, probably before that, but at least since 2016, probably 2008, I've been saying the local Democratic Party is in a shambles, and the statewide Democratic Party is in a shambles. The last time a Democrat won statewide office in Texas was 1994. And since 1994, the number of Democrats who've been elected to Railroad Commission, State Treasurer, Lieutenant Governor, Governor, Attorney General, Supreme Court, Court of Criminal Appeals, you name it, any statewide office, the number of Democrats elected since 1994, and that's exactly 30 years, is zero.
How quickly we forget Ann Richards, right?
Well, yeah, Ann Richards, and hey, before that, President Lyndon Johnson, Governor John Connally. I mean, Texas has always been a one-party state. For 100 years, it was a one-party Democratic state, and for the last 50 years, it's been a one-party Republican state.
All right, much more to come. Let's go back to the desk.